Oh, where's the glue go? Ah. Okay. Flux. iPhone's out here. Alright, see how we're going with the live channel. Let's see, looks like we've got a page of comments already. I'm slow on the take today. Mr. Psycho, Mr. Thunderdine, oh, I can't say that in a hurry. Mr. Ewing, Carl Justin, Raw, Yindi Yamara, how's it going, Yindi? I don't suppose you got the computer yet, did you? Probably won't. I imagine Australia Post Service is a little sluggish down to your way. Yeah, I lost my sandwiches. No, I didn't. Label Odom. And Want to Mech Arnold. Let's see, what's this? Did you get that 3437? Well, that was the 3436 you were thinking of, I think. I did, yes. Ah, yeah, I see now. You corrected yourself. I'm the slow one. Boulder, Colorado, checking in. Peter S. Hello. Boris Archibald. Hello, Boris. Haven't seen you around before. Welcome if you're new. Enrico, Saints 1. Solid Bridge, always see you around. Paul, definitely see you around. N3X. Claudini, Margarita, party started. Akbar, Mohammed, hello. Shame about that computer not there. And Jim's here. Jim's the star of the show for the first part today. Akbar's from Indonesia. Oh, cool. Alrighty. Okay. This week's gift from Jim. I shouldn't say this week because it makes the expectation that it's going to be every week. We got the battery-powered hot glue gun, and it actually works. And it takes the 11mm sticks. It's got a 20-volt, 2-amp-hour brick on it, and it does separate out. I don't know if it's compatible with other brick formats. I mean, they all look so similar, but who knows? It takes probably 2 minutes to get the first little bit of heat out, bit of hot glue out. 3 minutes if you really want it to flow, and it does a good job, so I can't complain. You just switch it on the side there, set it aside, and yeah, 2 or 3 minutes later you got hot glue. It does look a bit like the DeWalt, but it's certainly not. It's the Inco by the looks of it, and it also reminds me of an early version of the Ryobi one. Now, the Ryobi is not a bad unit except for the fact that it's bright green. Orange yellow is at least tolerable, but bright green, the Ryobi, I wish they'd pick a different colour. I prefer their old colour, which is a darker green. Hot air assist the tip, that's really cool. What's wrong with the board from the latest stream? Okay, well, we haven't actually loaded up the ticket for that one yet, so let's see, what ticket have I got showing at the moment? 1502. Oh, the 3436. That one ended up, after all the work we did the other night, where it was pulsing twice when we connected up and then we disconnect and it pulses again. I just put it through the ultrasonic and it came good. So it was that bit of junk that we saw under the CPU. Once the ultrasonic had cleaned that out, it booted up just perfectly fine. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, you know, if they, these battery formats, they're all, of course they always make them just slightly different. Great, overhead camera's wrong. Oh no, there we go, yep. Hey Ed, how's it going? Yeah, the Ryobi, the old Ryobi, the blue-green, the darker, I used to buy a fair bit of their stuff, but now that they've gone to this mint fluorescent green, it's like, yeah, I'll pass. Anyway. So, it'll be interesting to see how long this lasts. I can see the soles are running along this way, so the nice thing at least with this is that it has got all screws on it. So if the pack does die, I can repack it. And it's even got a battery indicator on the back, so that's handy. I'm not exactly sure how much this was. It was certainly under 100, I think, for everything. The ergonomics aren't the greatest, but yeah, I mean, it does the job that you want, and it's certainly far more convenient than having to have a 240-volt cable running around on it. So, and I think so long as I keep it out of the sun, and so long as I keep oil or solvents away from this sort of rubbery overlay, I think it will be good. It uses standard Phillips screws all over the place except for the hex on the bottom. So I think overall, at least if nothing else, it's going to be able to be disassembled and repaired if anything goes wrong electronically. Hopefully nothing goes wrong with the trigger. It's a 2-finger trigger job. Like I said, the main thing is it takes the 11mm stick, so I'm really happy with that. Hey Travis. I have an Aldi hot glue gun and it's cordless. It sits in a cradle heat up, a LiPo inside. The handle keeps the heat for a couple of minutes. Okay, that's actually a different way of doing it, and that's quite convenient too. Cheap and cheerful. Well, yeah, let's see how it goes. Give it a year's running and hopefully it'll be alright. Hey Alan. Yeah, Southwest Kitty, this was contributed by Jim, who's a very prolific contributor. I think he likes to make me do work in reviews. I've still got to perfect the infrared camera thing, but I'm waiting on someone else to do the driver for me. So basically, Jim sends the infrared camera, I write the Linux version, that's fine. But then when I want the Windows version, I have to go and hire someone else to do that. It's been a complicated process because the unit itself, the FLIR 1 Pro, it's not meant to be used on a PC of any sort. It's meant to be used on an Android or an iPhone, I believe. So making it work in Windows means a lot of driver messing around and stuff like that. So superglue is better. Well, superglue has its purposes, but hot glue is definitely very useful too. I use it all. So right tool for the right job. You know someone who's infrared and they try to understand how to open a new tool. Yes. Yeah, it's the first thing I think of is like, alright, can I fix this if I have to? Anyway, so this will be a great addition. Currently working on a battery spot welder. Oh yeah, those things are nice. I'd like to get one as well. Just a compact unit, not one of the massive sort of things. Something to just like connect LiPo tabs and things like that. You should pull a J2 cents on Lewis and glue something on the board. Oh, did he do the... Was he the guy that did the graphics card and he... What did he had to replace the current sense resistor? I think they put a half size one on there, or a half resistance one, to effectively allow double the current. And he did a very dodgy job of the solder. Yeah. That's him? Right, okay. Yeah, I've heard about that one. I think that it's not a real problem that his solder was that bad, because I think when the current goes through that, it should get so hot from the dodgy joint that it'll reflow itself, so it'll sort itself out. Anyway, let's get to fixing the machine. I've got something that I just kicked across the floor there. That's really awesome. Everyone loves doing that. Let's see. We've got a prior repair. A1465 MacBook Air. Yeah, why not? Let's have a shot at this one. This one's had a trace repair that didn't play out. It died shortly afterwards. And so, okay. You need to give me the details. There we go. We don't know what board this one is yet, but we'll get into it. I'll just have to do this off camera, sorry. Oh, actually, no, I can do it here. Roadcast, my address is actually on my business site. The postal address for me. Okay, we've got 2 missing screws there. They're the 2 long ones. Yeah, we don't know yet with this which one it is. We'll know as soon as we pop it open. And here's the cat. I made a LCD multimeter software for my streaming setup. I use SCPI. What did you... Let's see, my power supply is ACPI, my multimeter is a custom, but the next multimeter I'm getting, which will be here soon, will also be ACPI. Alright, we've got a new battery in here from Finco. And for some reason the replacement packs in these 1465s never sit down properly. I don't know why, but they just seem to be like a millimeter too thick. Due back on the 9th, so what is that, Monday? And this will be the 3436, so better update that. Log in. And this is the wrong... Ow. Wrong sticker on that. I'm gonna get the right sticker. Yep, you're not the right one either. What did I do with that? In my pocket? Crap. Got into that time again where I have overstepped my space boundaries and run out of room in the slots. That's a bit foolish of me. Let's see. Please stand by. Interesting. Maybe it dropped off on the way over to the workshop. Oh well. So what are you? Your job 109. Just realised this is a 2012. Oh crap. Okay, it's dead. And Nell's here. All over. 109. Let's see, board ID. 3208. I did not fill that in. 820-3208. Dimitri Thalanios from Greece. Okay. Hey Greg. Ariston UK. Right, let's get this battery out. Shame this person obviously bought a battery in the hope that they would have successful repair. I've got another 2012 in here as well, but it's the 1466 2012, so this is going to be fun. Since I can't find my sticker, I'm going to have to create a temporary one. Actually, I suppose I should see what it's doing to start with. That would be the reasonable thing to do. If it's doing anything at all, for that matter. Oh, there's my stickers. Duh. get our MagSafe. I'm about an hour and a half late to do this stream, so yeah, I don't know how long I'm gonna last. Where's my chipmunk? Nothing on the chipmunk? Seriously, you guys got nothing at all? You can have absolutely zero. That's... Absolutely zero makes me think there's a cable disconnect. It's weird. Alright. Alright, seems to be absolutely zero. Let's get this out. Hmm, 2.7 ohms. 13 ohms. Actually, I think that's okay. 390 ohms. Hey Shane, what's my MacBook Pro still powering strong? Many thanks. Oh, okay, you're still going to get the 16? Alright. Well, I'm glad it worked out. Are you going to keep the other one, or are you going to sell it off and use that money to fund the new one? Hey Pianoff, thanks for that guide before. At least it gave me an idea of letting me know. I did not tear that. That actually just flopped up, so when it was originally pulled off, that must have just come with it. So at least once I knew then for sure that it really wasn't anything that I'd done, I installed it on this machine actually, and it's built fine now. So I don't know what I've done with the other one. And the scary thing is, even if I strip it back and take all the min GW stuff out, and reinstall it, it still has the issue. So clearly I've got something botched up somewhere. Okay, that's a little off. Hey, you use it? We'll use it to upgrade the Minister of War and Finance's old laptop. Oh, okay. My wife usually gets my best machines first. So she was the first one to get the 1502 here, and then I had to beg and steal to get my own 1502. And the one I got was quite a bit more beaten up than the one she got. The one she got was nearly pristine. Hey, there's supposed to be a screw under there, isn't there? Nope, not on this one. Oh, and this doesn't help. This is a Apple refurb, or at least most likely an Apple refurb. Don't think I've got a spare one of these, so I'll have to take this out as well. Somehow I don't think we're going to get the 700 plus audience tonight. That was a bit of a weird robot infestation that we had the other night, which brought about a whole bunch of undesirables. Okay. Happy wife, happy life. That is actually quite correct. I've been trolled on macOS with a stray CMake file from an old SDL2 framework that wasn't installed by a brew. Yeah, things like that, Pernov, can just drive you insane. That's why I just decided in the end, it's like, that's it, I'm going to put it onto a fresh machine and see what happens. And it worked, so, yeah. And then I was able to get 1150 out, so now people with the color blindness can actually use Flex Boardview PDF viewer. Happy girlfriend, mad one. That's living dangerously. They are very dangerously. Short-lived too. Short-lived or broke. Do not recommend the following choices. Okay, so we've got some corrosion. So this has had work done on it before. There's a trace that was done near the BIOS, I believe. But even still, with the BIOS misbehaving, I would have expected I'd still get 342. I'm just checking top side while I'm here. Sometimes what can happen is you fix up one fault, you send the machine on its merry way, and it gives itself a new fault. So we could check 342 here, but we'll have a look at the other side first. Yeah, okay. Yeah. No. Looks like that's double shorted on both pads there. Oh no. That resistor looks shonky, so this is the all-sys power good area. I would replace that resistor, definitely redo that. I wonder what induced the need to do that. Let's look at the board view and have a look, see what that is. No, Corey, no, not at the moment. Check with Pernov's the mainline build. That should work fine. Yeah, I agree, Pernov. It's actually one of the reasons why I also stopped using Slackware, because it required me to build so much stuff outside of what what was in the package system. Sorry, don't mind my grain. Yeah, 3208. Just wanted to 100% verify that. That is a stickler of horror. If you see those white stickers like that, it usually means you're going to have a harder time fixing things. Okay, so they've attached the wire to the all-sys power good, which I've now lost. The second one at the top, what's that? 3v3s5. Curious. I'm gonna guess that it's missing from there and they're drawing it from here. That would be my guess. Yeah, I know upstream for open board data. I've got to work on that, but I need to really redo the open board data acquisition system. I mean, the actual data itself is fine once you've got it, but making it a lot easier for people to contribute it to is the harder and the bigger goal that I need to do. So once I've worked out how I want to integrate it or get people to contribute to it, I think then I'll have another shot. I probably should have just left it as a branch for now. Anyway, let's get this couple of resistors off and see what's going on, see why we don't have 342 or why we're... Is it 342? No, 3v3s5. See why we're tapping off here. So we've got some active corrosion still there. Okay, I see why. There's no pad there. Fair enough. We'll take that second resistor as well, because I don't trust it. Thanks, Pernov. Yeah, I'll get it prepared, and I'll just reapply it to the main branch, and then we can have a look at that. I'm trying really hard not to do any major changes on my fork because it just causes too much drama. It's better if I just follow along with the main one. I don't want to subject you to that hell that I put you through once before. Again. Kind of curious if what that little smidge of copper is here. Is that a piece of ground, or is it a piece of the pad that's no longer there? I think it's just a remnant of the pad. Yeah, it's a remnant. So that there is probably just a test pad, so it's not really going to matter, but we should clean up that corrosion. Yeah, we're not effectively going to get that stub out. Hey, Mr. Stamps. Yeah, no, Pernov. It's just so hard to find the time at the moment. I mean, like right now, this is my normal work, and it's 10:30 at night, and I still haven't had it. It was only just now that I was able to book in the jobs that came in first thing this morning. That was kind of sitting a little bit iffy there. Hey, Kratos. We're working... Well... Hey, where's my job information? Ah, it's not on the quad view, sorry. There we go. You can have a look at it now. So I've just got to pick off a couple of those resistors. I don't believe I have one of these boards, because I don't normally encounter them, but that's not a problem. I just find the same resistor value that I need. So, let's see... The one with the missing pad one is 150k, and the one above it is 1k. So 1k is definitely a walk in the park. What size are you? 201s. Just out of interest, how long ago was this board last looked at? What, this one? No, I've never looked at this one before. This is the first time I've looked at it. It was someone else's job, and I'm just trying to make it right. It's a bet I don't have 1k. How could I not have 1k? Means I'm going to have to go and get it off another board. 1 ohm, 1 ohm, 2k2. Ooh, 1k. fresh, hasn't even been opened up yet. Oh right, yeah, no, that makes sense, yeah, it's all good. I'm just going to write on here that this is 1K 201. The reason being is sometimes they can fall out of their packaging, and when they do that, well, short of taking a couple out of the bag and hoping you have success in getting the probe tips on it. I always get 2 jump out. Well, one of you unfortunately doesn't get to have flew off on its own. Now it's perfectly understandable that you would have thought that risk. I'm using the iPhone tweezers. Okay, 150k, substantially less likely to have that. I'll check my resistor books, as much as I hate them. So 150k. Get off. The big problem I have with these resistor books is the lack of glue that they put on the strips. I mean, that barely is holding on. And occasionally they put the wrong strips, or they put the wrong values in the strip place. And that is not a good thing. So once we put this on, we will actually measure it to make sure it is 150k. I'll burn my fingers. Yeah, that's true, Riston. Yeah, I often do look back at my old work and go, my goodness, I can't believe I sent that out. And sadly, I'll probably say the same about this too, if it ever comes back. Nick, because it's easier to hold, the part won't fly off, and also in this case, that pad is non-existent, so it serves a purpose anyway. 148, that's fine. It's not exactly the easiest task to measure a 201 part with the solder tips when it's just resting on the board or anywhere else like that. It has a strong tendency to run away. There's probably nothing really wrong with this wire, but I'm going to replace it anyway. Yeah, Christian, let's not hope that, eh? I really don't need rogue wire, rogue bits and pieces floating around. The ultrasonic will take care of it in most cases. Just boost up that pad a little more. It's in. It's actually going to be a little bit tricky. For this sort of thing, I'd probably better off using the micro pencil. Yeah, the big problem is just the difficulty of holding the little blighters while trying to measure them. I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna use that pad up there as my sort of scratch post. Yeah, that's not gonna work, Paul. Okay, you can immediately see there's going to be an issue here. That trace that's running next to it, it gets pretty damn close. Too close, in fact. So since it's just a test pad, I will probably cut that away. And I need more flux. I'm being a bit skimpy there. Hey, Crazy J. Yeah, I mean it is insulated now, but I have my spidey paranoia says that that will likely pose a risk. So we're just gonna, I should have done this before I put the part down. No, I don't need to tombstone it when I can just hack this away. I always find tombstoning is a little bit risky in the sense that it's easy to knock that part. Yeah, I think we're good there. Test it with continuity. Yeah, it's broken now. Well, there's a million ways you could have chosen to do this. And that's the way that I did it. And some people are going to be like, well, they'd never do it that way. That's very unprofessional. That, on the other hand, is. That's a dead resistor. That's fine. Take the opportunity to really clear that trace off. Right, we'll put a new resistor down because that one is 100% cactus now. Good placeholder though. God damn it, how many of I just let go? Oh great, the old resistor does not want to come off. That's pretty funny. Was a lot of drama just to get that resistor let go of the tweezers too. They went straight into the rubbish bin. I'm not actually squeezing out the flux deliberately like that, it's just, you know, it just oozes out. So I'm just using whatever it dispenses, and it's almost at the end of the tube. Let's see if this one does better. I know I'm not connecting right next to the body, there's a reason for that. Honestly, do I have dementia? Where the heck did I put that box of wires? Why would I put it on the floor? Has a perfectly good place right there on the shelf where it's meant to be. Oh, for goodness sake. And Nikita, Catherine. Yeah, was going to actually bend that in, but I don't know if I'm... You going to be okay to do that? Yep. There we go. Alright, so that's re-established what was done. Now, personally, I don't think that was actually really at fault. I mean, it was a little bit iffy, but it didn't quite look catastrophic. Certainly not to produce a zero current. Anyway, we'll see what's going on. I don't need that at this point. In fact, I really don't need the crossover flex, but habit. And the MagSafe's pretty damn beaten up. Then again, what MagSafe isn't? Plug in the Chipmunk. I had a genius yesterday. I asked to plug the laptop to modem Ethernet. He unplugs the wire from the modem and plugs it into the laptop, so laptop to desktop. Brilliant. No, well, it looks like we are back to life. Was it really that? Honestly? I feel kind of disappointed. I feel disappointed because it didn't really seem... I mean, it was marginal, but it didn't seem like it had broken through. But then maybe it was touching on something that I couldn't see. I still wouldn't have expected that behaviour, though. Oh well. It fan spins, and we get green blinky. Green blinky, so fan spin and green blinky means we're alive. So that one's done, I think. I guess the responsible thing is to stick it into the chassis, make sure we get a display, because we are not half job hack jobs. We don't just look at a fan spin and say it's fixed. We actually try to make sure it is fixed. If you want a half job hack job, you know where you can send it. I'm sure Anel will be more than happy to take them. Yeah, let's stick the keyboard backlight in. Why not? Why not? Oh, certainly success on stream, Warren. I mean, I've had successes off stream a couple of times where I've thought that it wasn't going to be possible. But I was very happy that the prior 1502, the 3746, well, 3770, well, whatever, 3476. Man, someone's got dyslexia. I was happy to see that that ended up just being a bit of junk under the CPU, because that, if that was a second failure on a 3476, I think I would have been a bit more upset. The machine did end up needing a new battery as well, but fortunately that was quick work with the using the string method, the wax string. I think it took me 5 minutes. And best of all, tonight I've got ice cream. So when I finish this, I'll go get to ice cream. Yum yum. Hey, Jap the Master. Okay, let's plug our boot system onto it. Go on. We'll plug in the other side. Hey, Central Tech. Catherine, I probably shouldn't be eating ice cream either, but it's, you know, other than coffee, it's my one vice. And I don't have it all the time. Yummy steak. Speaking of Farnell, he was here. Yes, I saw him. Yet PCH didn't try to emulate. Oh, yeah. I think Farnell's starting, his influence is starting to wane. He's not quite the influence he used to be. Maybe he needs to be run over again. Ow. That's what I get for saying that. Interesting, it's not picking up this drive. Okay. Internet recovery, I don't think so. We'll stick their drive in. I'm generally disinclined to do this until I can prove the machine, but at this stage it's running. It's hard not to... It's hard to prove that there's not going to be any damage to the SSD without plugging in the SSD. Okay. Let's set up our privacy filter. Vanille's been degaussed. Whoa. Sorry, folks. There's some strong perfume just came up and it got me. I'm rather sensitive to... Yeah, that's booted. Yep. I'm rather sensitive to perfumes, smells, things like that. You know, someone could put a puff of perfume 2 blocks up, actually not 2 houses up, and it'll choke me up. So it's a good thing I live out in the country areas. Alright, so that's working. Job done. We'll turn this off. Okay. So it just need to be redone. We will put the green goo on it. I usually only do that after I've ultrasonicked it, because I find if you put green UV cure stuff through the ultrasonic, it survives, but it always comes out a bit weak, so I prefer not to do that. Schrodinger's SSD, it's either until you test it. Okay, that's one job down. Let's go have a look what else is in the queue. I suppose I better actually make note of what I did. It'd be a little bit unprofessional of me if I failed to do that. Trace rebuilt. Removed trackpad flex, which may have been causing a short effect. It's kind of weird though, even I'm trying to look at that. I wouldn't have, yeah, mate. If that did short, you'd have an excessive current going through the Allsys Power Good chip, but it'd still be limited by, there's a 100 ohm, yeah, there's like 3 transistors in there, so let's say almost 2 volts of reduction on a 5 volt line, or 3.3, and then you've got a 100 ohm resistor at the bottom. So you wouldn't have really shorted anything, it just would have run a bit hot. But anyway, it might have caused an issue though with the biasing of the transistors. It's not my strong point. Okay, short effect. Okay, so that one's done. Time to go find another one. We'll put this through the ultrasonic and all that gibberish tomorrow. Tomorrow when it's a better day with daylight and things like that. Damn it, I need more slots. Magnetic pads. You can all take a... Whoops. You guys can take a hike. Just trying to find other slots that I can free up because I know I'm going to need them with the next job. Okay. What in heaven's name are you? You're one of my own machines. What the heck am I putting my own machines in here for? Jeez. Still a long way from perfecting this system. Oh, we're getting there. What have we got? Got a damaged SMC on a 1398. That sounds like that'll be a nightmare. I may have to actually take the sticker off this one, I'm sorry. We'll just stick it to the side. Okay. Get ourselves a container. And put away the resistor books and the resistor boxes. It's just all these little things that you gotta try and make sure that you do repeatedly, you know, whenever you get new jobs in or stuff like that. The more routines you have, probably the less likely you're going to make mistakes. Hey, Midek from southern France. Is that anywhere near Pernov? I heard something just then. Hope it wasn't important. Yeah, Tony W. It's one of those spring-loaded wire capture things, or you can stick a banana probe in there. Yeah, I'm just trying out to see whether I prefer it that way, because then I can just plug the ground lead of my multimeter in there. All in the experimentation. Jim, I'd say probably about 50% at the moment is B2B. It varies quite a bit, so, and I don't have enough data yet. But yeah, I'd say 50-50. Ooh, one of these ones. This is the earlier one. I've got one of these. Okay, oh, that's shit, mate. The heatsink's been bent, jammed in without taking the plastic capture off. Unfortunate that happens. Right. Battery off. That's southeast. Oh, okay. Not that France is that big, is it? I mean, compared to, say, one of Australia's states. Hey, Cormac. How's it going? This is interesting tape. So, cloth type, easy tear, paper black tape. Cool. I like this stuff. I might have to find some. Takes a day by car from top to bottom. Oh, okay. I can't even get out of the state within a day here in Queensland. Like if I start at if I start at 5 o'clock in the morning, I might just make it into New South Wales by 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning the next day. So within 24 hours, shall we say. Alright, so most of the screws are missing here. what is the SMC is the issue here, so we need to take this out. Right, I don't have screws for the fans, so yeah, I'm gonna guess that all the screws are back home with the owner. What's gotten trapped? Camera's gotten trapped under there. Yeah, so you have to take this plastic contraption off to get the heatsink to sit down properly sometimes. Doesn't always have to be done that way, but many a time it does. Okay, fans are good. Still, in France or most of Europe, you can barely go, what, 15 minutes before you drive into another town or something? Is that true? I remember when I was over in Switzerland, you didn't have to go too far before you got to some village or something like that. Let's see, what else have I got? Speaker connector here. And this one here always gets me every single time. It's like camouflaged. Okay, and away we go. Wow, that's some serious water damage there. SMC has indeed been butchered. This is a 3332, so this will also have the U8900 issue, which I guess we'll do as par for the course. Unless it's already been done, but I have a feeling it probably hasn't. Let's see, 106. $820 3332. Update. There we go. Easy. Hey, micromanage repair. Okay. First thing on my mind is what? Holy words. Use your words, Paul. Oh, that's a cluster. Far out. That's really bad. That's not nice at all. God damn it. What the flippity flip? Come on. I wouldn't even know where to start on this right now. That is just a cluster fire truck. Bloody hell. Okay, well, looks like we got our challenge for the night. Bravo. No, I can't bin it. Well, the first thing I've definitely got to do is get this SMC off. Then I'm going to windshield wiper all this. But the trouble is, I don't know what's been butchered. I hope I've got a good reference board. I'm really going to need a good reference board. Fluster clock, yes. Yeah, there's just so much sputtering there, and I mean, bravo, they gave it a shot, but looks like the projectile hit the foot this time. This is not the easiest. It'd be a shame if in the end all this was a U8900 issue, which would not surprise me. I should find out, see if it was originally submitted as a intermittent graphics problem or something like that, or kept dropping out, and we'll probably find it is. Corey, I'm pretty sure I got a 3332 somewhere. I'm just kind of stunned by this one at the moment. Alright, let's get this SMC off, and then we'll have the ability to move around. This is all just going to meld into a great big molten mess. Well, we ask for challenges, we get challenges. I should not complain, I should be happy about this, I am. And this certainly will be a challenge. I'm going to assume the SMC is trucked. Now what I want to work out here is what they were trying to achieve. And by the looks of it, they did not have a suitable soldering iron. The tip was too big or something like that. So we've got this trace doing something. So we're going from these two here up to here. And maybe onto there. So maybe corrosion hit there or something. Let's go into quad view. And let's bring up a 3332. Alright, so we've got... Geez, I'm trying to get my orientation here. No, that doesn't seem right. Oh, weird. I was transposing in my own brain and I was getting that wrong. Okay, so we've got 3v42, that's what they're trying to move around. Let's maximize this. There and there. Alright, so they're basically just trying to get 3v42 around to all the parts here that don't have 3v42, so... Okay. That's why it's important to have a look at what they were trying to do. Yeah, Arnold, that's a no stuff. So now we can actually take away what's been done, clean it up, and then try to reapply. That came away very good. The solder is nasty as hell. Honestly, I could have thought that was... it was almost like that was thermal paste. Yeah, I'm just going to go a little excessive here, knock off a fairly broad range. Okay, so it looks like we had some corrosion issue here, and oh my goodness, the solder is nasty. This is almost like it's... I bet you it's chip quick. I would not be surprised if it's chip quick. Let's set the temperature down to 250 and see if it melts. Yeah, there's missing pads there, there, and there. Basically, it looks like wherever there was 3v42, it got killed. Okay, so this is 250. Will it melt? I don't know if Chip Quick melts at 250. It is starting to melt. That or it's lead free and a really cheap nasty one. Yeah, maybe it is actually lead free. Is that a hole in the resistor? I can't see any holes in the resistor. It's probably just a visual artifact. Or I should say artifact. It's an E in there, not an AR. Oh, downvotes don't bother me. They used to. But not anymore. These days it's like, yeah, whatever. Everybody gets downvotes. It'd be unrealistic if you didn't. What's important is that there are people out there that dislike me immensely enough that they take the time and effort to downvote for me. Okay, that pad there is actually looking like it's gone too. Hey, Armando, yeah, David. Is there copper there or is that PCB? Yep, that's just PCB. We do not want to lose this one because that goes back into there, so we're going to have to be careful. We'll just cut back a little bit of the trace. Okay, that's enough. Crikey. I will hot air wick up the excess. Hot air wicking's a bit safer in these scenarios because you're not using the iron tip. You're just brushing the wick against the solder to pick it up. There's no actual pressure. Not really, anyway. Okay, that resistor keeps wanting to jump off. I'm not sure why. I might have to just take it off and find out why. Corey, I've never been a great fan of directly using the soldering iron tip for these delicate areas because it's just so easy that you get a bit of something sticks or you have a spasm. God help you have a spasm. Wow, these resistors are just really, they're not sticking down. Okay. I think it's the solder that's being used underneath them. Oh man. Okay. I suppose the next question for me to consider is, I think I'll rebuild all the small parts before I put the SMC back on. Because otherwise what will happen is I'll be bumping against the SMC. I'm going to do some more wicking. Yeah, I just realised I should have... I really need to run leaded solder over that. That's okay. Oh no, damn it. Micro tip into the floor. Yeah, this is the second one, Tonstar. Yeah, it took you a bit of time. The solder ball has drifted up, damn it. Lots of cursing tonight. I admit I'm genuinely surprised about that 3208. Really thought I was going to be in for a bigger nightmare. Maybe I will still, yep, maybe after it comes out of ultrasonicking and testing, it will reveal to me what's really going on. Hey Arnold, have a good day. Hey Jake Ozzy. But I can see obviously if there was liquid damage. There was something going on down there. I presume either that or some sort of significant electrical short. I'm not sure. Okay, they're nice and flat and they're done in leaded solder, so makes them that much better. Jay, yeah, this is obviously, I got the other one, the challenge board. I have got that. Found an open source software for my labels, my parts from the Macbook. What software did you get? Yeah, this is the 1398 332 with the SMC that was butchered. Well, the SMC, funnily enough, was probably okay, as in it wasn't too butchered, but by God, that area next to it. I mean, look at it. It's a train wreck. Freaking train wreck. And that's after we've cleaned it up. I'm going to enjoy not having carpeted floors. This is the A1398 332. You can see it down the bottom. DJ Craze, it was a battery powered hot glue. Oh, look at that. Look at that complete. And this is what happens when you drop your soldering tip on the floor. I'm terrified to think what that was even on there. It looked disgusting. Kind of smelled sweet though. Addictively sweet. I should go snort whatever's on the floor. Yes, it is, Jay Cozzy. Yes, it is. real careful on those pads. They're just going to lift right on up. I'm not... Normally I like to scratch out a fair bit more, but these do not look like they want to cope with any strong scratching. So Jason, what's the backstory on this? I mean, how did it get to this? Why? I'm only guessing it was corrosion, liquid damage, based on the fact that it's gone right through in certain places. The person was chasing 3V42 onto their parts, but yeah, so for whatever reason they were missing 3V42. I'm sure they gave it a shot, that's for sure. Ricky, the dodgy guy down the road, did it. Ah, okay. Yeah, great to know that I'm the fall guy here. Oh, not the fall guy, but yeah, the fall back. That's it. I mean, honestly, it looked like he was using a soldering iron from the 1990s, based on... I mean, they were trying, but yeah, it was a disaster. I'm going to leave that there. It's going to give me something to secure the part on, and then I can route that little smidge of wire. That's going to be a bit of a tricky one, particularly when the SMC gets reflowed. Yeah. And it looks like he's used some kind of God knows what solder. Half of me thinks it's chip quick, low melt, and the other half of me thinks it's some sort of horrible lead-free trash. Either way, it's definitely not leaded. Okay, let's find ourselves a 332. And I'll do the U8900 while I'm at it, while I'm here. That's a 163. 163 does me no good today. 426? What is this, a joke? Am I a joke to you? 332. Plumber's solder. I'll tell you what, if they did use plumber's flux in it, would be doomed. This has got an SMC on it. You do, but you're missing your edge bonding. That gives me pause for thought. I do not like it when the donor board SMC... Oh god, no. 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 I'll take the small parts off this. Maybe not. Let's find another 332. I had a moment of hope there and it was masterfully dashed. 3787. Oh, come on. Don't do this to me. What are you? Please be a beautiful 332. Oh, baby, you're 332. Why? Wow. Ow. Best thing of this is that it's a dead customer board, so chances are everything we need should be in good condition for this, because the fault that was on this one was something up here. Andrew Hughes, are you talking about the 3D printed things? I think I did get that this morning, and then before I got a chance to answer anything this morning, the place just went nuts. And I had to basically put everything on the back burner. I have a major dental due to broken jaw and could not do any work with endo. Oh man, yeah. No, I've got the 332 here. It's just I had to find it. I've got like 3 or 4 containers full of boards here. It's getting crazy. Hey, Shining Star from Nepal. I don't get too many people from Nepal here. Nepal. Okay, I'm just trying to get my bearings on what I need to steal. Yep. This one's going to bring joy to my soul. Okay, so the 2 big fats next to the bottom left. How the... Surely I didn't miss that corrosion when I was originally looking at this board. And it's embarrassing if I did. Okay, I'm going to have to get the edges off, and I may as well take the SMC off at the same time. I've actually gotten to the point with the donor boards that I've got in the collection where I now have to separate them out into ones that do have things like SMC and ISLs still, and put them into the fresh donor board boxes, and then all the ones that have been generally stripped and are only good for small parts like this, they go into another box again, because it's getting too hard to keep digging through. This stuff's nasty. So sometimes you get... Yeah, this one just doesn't want to play ball. Okay, we're going to bring out the Grim Reaper. Okay, user, thanks for dropping in, I appreciate that. Have yourself a good sleep. Seriously? You finished beeping at me now? Even the Reaper's not enjoying this much. You gotta be careful when using this tool though, because if you get under the SMC and you just sort of lever up, you can just damage the SMC. So you gotta make sure you don't get that tip slipping underneath the outer edges. I mean, you can go under the SMC with it, just don't tilt it up or lift it up. Everything's getting cold now. Normally tweezers should get rid of this stuff just fine, but for this one, it seems like it didn't want to. So I will say this is not a normal way of getting rid of the edge bonding on SMCs. Normally tweezers will do just perfectly good job. And sometimes when it doesn't work out like that, you gotta intervene. So the trouble is, it's going to be hard to get this SMC off while it's still kind of glued. Alright, I think we've got enough now. Give it a flux flood. And then hit it with the hot air. And hope and pray that this is actually a functioning SMC. At least all the small parts around will be good for us to work with. And since it's not a bashed up donor board from AliExpress, then everything should be, we don't have damaged tracks or anything like that. It's starting to move. So this is what I'm talking about. See, I had to kind of wiggle it off. I've done that once before and overdid it just as Lewis Rossman walked in and was watching the channel. It was a highly inappropriate moment. You don't want to use this when you've got an itchy nose, I agree. Alright, I don't need to be messing around, maybe I'll just get rid of some of the stuff. So none of this transfers across when I pick up the part. Okay, so these are our two. These are the ones that have the most damage. That pad, I think it's that pad they're missing. Well, whatever. I'll just move the damn thing and we'll be good. Should I bother fixing an A1370? Yeah, it's subjective. Just be aware it may not last that long regardless of what you do. That's pretty much all it comes down to. If you're aware of the risks, then go wild. Risk primarily in terms of longevity. Oh, for flip's sake, what a disaster. Sorry, technical difficulties here. You're going to be a real pain, aren't you? Okay, the problem I've got straight away here is that this top one that we're fiddling with, if it rotates down even the slightest, it's going to make contact with this trace here. And you're probably thinking, well, why don't you just put the green stuff on it? But the trouble is it's too early in the process to be putting down green stuff. It will just come back up. It won't last throughout the process of what we're about to put it through. So this is going to be a bit of a fiddly job, to say the very least. I think the problem DJ Craze with those 1370s is that, unlike say the 1466s, mind you we're talking post 2012, yeah, there's not a lot of expanse in what you could use the parts for other models or other years. Okay, so we need to connect that to that. Yeah. I might actually have a look at that trace and see if there's another place I can... Damn. 2 resistors depend on that. Okay, both that and that. Wait, so... Oh, what a mess. Okay. This is an SMC... SM bus, SMC1. That's the clock line, and it's needed there as well. Hey Sicky, how's it going? Okay, let's transfer some more parts. So we've got this 4 resistor and 1 small. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we need 3 in the small. I'm not going to try to be fancy and take all 3 at once in this case. I'm just going to take 1 at a time. If I start taking groups, I'm more than likely going to make a mistake. Okay, so at this point we can start rebuilding our traces. So we fundamentally have... Okay, so we've got this one for the clock line. It's got to go there and there. I'm kind of wondering about that little veer stump there. Let's see where that goes. I have a feeling though it doesn't go to the SMC side. It'd be a little bit weird. Yeah, I didn't think so. That probably goes off to wherever it's meant to go elsewhere in the system. U5570. Which I'm thinking is over here. So, okay. No? No. Alright, so it goes from that chip that we just touched up to here. So I'm not sure where this little veer stump thing goes to. But we'll connect it in anyway. This is sufficiently tight work that I may... Yeah, I guess I'm going to see how it goes, hey? We might just be able to fiber fillet this section here. I did it the other day where you don't really connect the wire directly per se, but rather you use it as a fibrous filler for the solder. Kind of like putting chopped up fiberglass weave into epoxy. It doesn't actually connect anything, but overall makes the product stronger. Anyway, we'll see. Whatever happens to happen when I solder this up, I will then magically say that, hey, that's actually what I intended to do. And you'll all sort of agree. You'll all go, oh yeah, he totally did. Okay, let's see what our wire strands... It's pretty thick stuff. My biggest concern is it just drifting during the SMC reflow. But I can't do it the other way around. I can't put the SMC down and then try to do this. Because the SMC itself will protrude a little bit further off beyond that. So you got to pick your you've got to pick your battle. Which one do you want to try to take on? Hey Nick Geyser. Damn it. Picked up the... Damn it. Jason's just stuff that I get out of high flex silicon cable wire. It's for battery packs and things like that. Let's see if that endures a bit of a shot of heat. Let's see what happens. I don't want it to have any built-in tension. It's like when it does reflow, I don't want it all of a sudden to just like a boing. That looked alright. And I just realized that I actually have to do that all again. Bugger. I have to do it again because remember it's supposed to go to that one as well. What I might do is I might leave that filler stump there and then attach another wire to go over to there. This one's going to be more painful because it has to be enameled, and that's a very short distance to do enameling. So I'll get out my lens wire. This stuff is different. It's actually meant for radio systems, crystal antennas, things like that. And the enamel on it is, it's less, well, it doesn't require as much heat basically. Now I've got to find my little shield that I use for, oh there it is. Great, stuck my thumb straight in it. Hey Flatlander, how's it going? Okay, let's see if... See, it didn't take very much effort at all to get that tin. It just pretty much straight away tinned. Man, I'm beating the hell out of that poor tip. Oh boy, I've lost my orientation. Ah, there we are. Now I've only ever been able to get lens wire from some guy in the Ukraine, so if you just eBay lens wire, you will find it eventually. Ooh, that is not gonna last. I wish it would, but it won't. Okay. Now as for this 3v42 jump, Not really sure. I don't know what sort of current demand I'm going to have there, so I'm going to look it up on the Boardview and schematic. Being 3V42, it really shouldn't be much. It should just be for signal, not much else. Oh, that's just pull-ups. Okay, there's no problem at all there. I can use the length wire on that too. It's these ones here. Is it 5280, 5281? Okay, they're the pull-ups. No problem at all. Hey, Master Blaster. I was trying to decide what's going to be the most effective route. I don't think there will be such a thing. I think it's going to be a case of just pick what you can. I think I might put the rest of the parts on the board and go from there. Okay, just seeing if we need these two and the cap and big resistor. Okay, there's those two, and that'll be the resistor there, so we definitely need those two there. If you are just getting into board repair, picking up two resistors like that and moving them across, holding them in the tweezers while you move a board out of the way on the bench, it's good practice to know, to let you know whether you got the sort of tactile feel on your tweezers. If you can't do it with your tweezers, just keep practicing until you can. It's kind of like when you're driving, and one of the common things that can happen when you drive is if you look over to the side, you have a tendency to actually steer that way. And so what you have to do is you have to train yourself to not move the steering wheel as you do that. And it's a bit like with moving parts with the tweezers, is as you move the boards around on the bench to shift it back under the microscope while trying to hold those parts. It's just one of those practice things. It's definitely something you want to get down quite well, because otherwise you will lose a lot of parts when you're trying to move things back and forth. Particularly with these little bars, they're 201s. 402's not so bad. A lot of it comes down to your tweezers as well. You can get the ultrafine tweezers, and because they're flexible, they have a tendency to actually make it more difficult because they'll bow out as you're holding them, so you won't really get a true feel. And that's why I use these, even though these are really quite thick and brutish. Because they don't flex out, then you get you maintain a solid grip, whereas when they flex out you start holding by the corners and that's when the parts spit out and you lose them. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still lose parts quite often, but you try to do the best you can to avoid that. Hey Damaris, it's been a while. How's it going? Hey W Thornton. Where you been, Damaris? Well, you don't need to have one of these micro tips, I gotta admit it. It is damn useful at times. Even on Macbooks. Particularly for touching up the end caps on parts. That's all good, Corey. Yeah, it's just one of those things I'd point out that is helpful to have under control, so to speak. Let's see, we got parts that we need to populate in here? I'm sure we probably do. It seems not. Okay, it seems we just got nothing, test pads and nothing. So we got nothing, test pads, nothing. So that's good. So now we just need to run that 3v42 line. And I gotta decide where I'm gonna grab it from. These up here, 3v42. So we need to go there, there, and let's see. This down here is 3v42, and I think that's what they originally went for. Which kind of makes sense, because you basically go from there and try snake up there. The only thing I don't like about this 3v42 spot is that it's basically just a veer stump coming up, so there's no trace next to it. I would rather have a part or something there to help me out, so I may end up actually kind of doing a weird complicated route. The other way is start here, go up and around down there. Choices. Yeah, these tweezers are just, I don't know what they are. They were just a generic pair of tweezers, but I have filed them down a lot. I've modified them, adjusted them, and that's not much of a problem. If you just get one of those fish hook sharpeners, although they do sell them at Union Repair as tweezer repair tool or something like that. There's certainly a degree of artistry involved in doing these wires. That should be enough. If you do find yourself doing a lot of wire work, then you do yourself a good service to get some length wire. Like I said, the fact that you can get the ends of it to, tin up so easily really is a big help in these scenarios. having trouble getting that second one to bite on. At least the first one's good. Well, what I'll do is I'll secure it down onto the end of the one resistor here. That test pad's annoying me because that's better. It had a bit of a spike on it and I didn't like that. Yeah, that's secured. Come on. I'm making a bit of butchering of this. Come on. That did not end up quite as nice as I wanted. Especially that I'm floating straight over that test pad. That's annoying me. So what I'll do is I'll probably run the green goo underneath it, and then that should stop it. So I might just fold this back. There we go. So definitely didn't turn out quite as pretty as I was hoping, which is a shame. I mean, I'm sure the person's going to open up the board every day and have a look at it. And every morning when they do, I'll be wishing I'd done a better job. Okay. No, still not 100% happy with this end cap here. Even though I've won this one, I want to double it up on there. Now I've got to be careful because at this point it could be very easy for me to leave the soldering iron on there just a tad too long and we'll have to redo everything. I'm just confounded by the fact that it won't wick on there. Alright. Nick Vasey. Got a sea of green type 1465 boards the other day. Took a leaf out of your book, fluxed and boiled, changed a few caps. Oh wow, nice. Good job. Yeah, that is a good job. Alright. So we've done the rebuild work here. Let's hope it sticks, because now we've got to do the SMC. And naturally Paul didn't clean his SMC reballing tray yet again. Looks like I'm never going to learn that one. Wow, I really need to clean those balls out. They're just going to get everywhere. Good enough. Except for that one in the corner. So we're going to have to get rid of a bit of edge bonding there that's still stuck. And then yeah, flatten it out. That edge bonding might come off when we do the soldering. Let's see what happens. There might be enough of an edge on this. I'm kind of actually pushing my luck a bit here. Ah, yeah. That looks pretty good. Get that out of the way. Far too many times you, if you don't clear this sort of stuff away, just when you least expect it, it reappears right where you don't want it to and messes up your job. Oh, there's a piece there still. What about the other corner? Pick this up and I'm going to put it between my fingers and just drown it in alcohol. And rub off all the flux. Get that flux out of there. Oh, there's some edge stuff still there. Let's see. Maybe the hobby knife might be enough. Just don't want to damage the chip itself though. Okay, that doesn't matter that much. Alright, I think we can stick our two corner balls on. Why don't you just being a naughty one? There we go. I was just not handling it properly. Right, that one's on. Far less drama that time. Ah, I forgot to do the stencil. So we have to wait a little bit while I do the stencil. 309 views, really? Ah, that's not bad. Not bad for a Friday night. Is that a piece of junk or is that... I gotta say, I'm always amazed when I watch the people who do CPU reballs and stuff like that completely without any use of the microscope. I mean, that just boggles my brain. Maybe it's because I can't see very well myself. Yeah, it just seems to be even more of a superpower that they have. But it's still pretty amazing. Right. Now we've got the fun part where I've got to drop solder balls onto this. I'm going to use the little vial of solder balls that I still have. We'll come up with something better. Yeah, I agree, Pernov. The microscope definitely does give you that like hand-eye coordination feedback that's so necessary. I'm not worried about wasting these ones. I mean, I've got so many of those ones. Yeah, not tonight. I was using the tiny vial, the one that was the first batch of balls that I had. What I might do is refill the tiny vial using the big vial or something. I'll come up with something. I always come up with something. It's what I do. First and foremost, I'm more of a tool maker than I am a board repair person. Tool making is, I've come to realize, is my real calling. But what I need to do is get tools to make the tools. And I'm getting there, Sometimes you have to hold off on your calling just so that you can deal with practicalities first. Oh, shoot. Well, this is why I want to make the tools for it. So that stupid mistakes like that don't happen. I know what I want to make. It's just a case of getting it together. Okay, so this is going to take a little bit longer now than what it was about to take, because I'm going to have to put all these ones that jumped back in. That's okay, it's a bit of practice. if the weather's just right and everything, you can usually get away with just using the tip of these knives to shift them. I don't know whether it's physically stabbing the ball or whether it's electrostatic. I have a feeling it's electrostatic. Yeah, like I said, practice. I'm sure it's a little boring for you guys, but for me it's an opportunity to work on the old breathing. Apparently you got to breathe in and then breathe out. Something about staying alive. Staying alive. Sorry, couldn't help myself. Damn you, Bee Gees. Has anyone actually watched the Staying Alive Bee Gees video clip recently? It's pretty crazy what they used to wear, what they'd get away with. These days you'd be like, oh my goodness, put that thing away. Joy of changing social standards. Okay, it looks good enough to me. The Skippy new tool is battery powered hot air hot glue gun, 11mm type. Not the puny 7mm. Okay, I've got way too much air going on around here. I'll get down to about 20 air. You don't want to be blasting these things all over the place. So remember, we just heat them up till they start deforming. It may not be so much that they're deforming that makes the reball process go better, but rather it's an indicator that the SMC is actually up to temperature to accept flux. Okay, we had 2 jumps. I grabbed one because I was going too fast. Might get lucky. Got one stuck one up the top right there. Give him a stab. Sometimes just the process of annealing will do it. That is basically letting them cool down, let them heat up again. Sometimes you gotta... Yeah, so that one's good. This one here is resisting. Okay, I think they're set. Nusacat, I was never that good with the rifle. I wanted to be, but I wasn't. I was okay, but not great. I was certainly no, like, American sniper level. On a good day, I could hit the broadside of a barn from about 2 foot away. Yeah, we don't do any Anel stuff here. Okay, I'm not too sure if we're going to lose any here, but, well, not much we can do, but take it off and find out. And looks like we've got them all. That's pretty good. I don't shoot or puncheroos, I ride them to my store every day. I actually did have some kangaroos out the side today. The fur kids were having a staring competition with them. It was pretty funny. the cats are like, what in God's name is that creature? It's pretty crazy watching all the patterns that develop as it cools down. Alright, so that's good. Another successful SMC. Let's get that board back. Okay, we've got a bit of flux inundation going on here, so I need to clean this back up. Because I don't want to be putting the SMC down on a bit of a messy sort of area like that. I gotta be careful I don't upset anything over here, particularly that little damn trace on the side there. Hey Jeff P, how's it going? Hey Luke. On the other hand, I am still looking at getting myself into archery. Maybe this is the difference between, say, well, I could use a lightsaber or I could use a blaster. Because I'm going the lightsaber route. Which means I'm antiquated. It seems to be the right amount of flux. Well, wish us luck, folks. Wish us luck, folks, because here it goes. I'm kind of worried about those traces unraveling. There's the one time that I do wish I could dope the ends of the solder with something to make it a higher temperature solder. Okay, we've got our first partial jump, because I can't speak because there's our second jump, it's almost there. This is really having a hard time settling down actually. I don't know about you, but that kind of feels like it's slightly off. Does not feel right. If you look at the gapping up here, just I don't know. Maybe I'm paranoid. It just kind of feels like it's turned clockwise, just ever so fractionally. It's definitely clockwise, fractionally. Definitely. I'm going to redo it, as in reflow it a bit more. Something's jammed it. Maybe I didn't clear away enough the underfill. So here we go. Hey Mr. Freeman, how's it going? Good to see you. Well, the main reason why I'm a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to the SMC is because due to the number of balls that it's got, when it does pull into its correct position, due to the tension on the reflow, it should come up correctly square. And if it doesn't, that means there's something interfering with it, and that's my main concern. Fortunately, it looks like the traces survived. We still have a U8900 that we're going to have to do on this, but we'll make sure this thing's starting up at least. Yummy steak, I'm more comparing by what I remember as what it was when I took it off, and when they lay out these boards, then they do tend to always have a keep out zone that is a very strict boxing around the SMC, and all the other parts will actually butt against that keep out line. And that's why when I look at it and I can see that it's just, yeah, it's like a tenth of a degree or so, but it's enough to make me like get a bit wiggly in the eye. And while I try not to be overly pedantic about it, sometimes it's important to be pedantic about this because, like I said, with a chip with that many balls, it should come up to perfect alignment every time. But we'll see. We'll see if we even get any activity. No, I couldn't green them because it's just, if I put green stuff on and then I did all the rework that I was doing, it will just ruin it anyway. Alright, let's see, here we go, bang test. Okay, we've got 1.2, whoa, that's a lot of amperage. Not used to seeing 1.1 amps on these boards. We do have a green light. Well, we've got a blinky. Okay, blinky's good. We'll now do U8900, because otherwise this will go back, and then within a day or two the graphics card will stop working and I will get a slap on the wrist. Just check another thing. So there's our U8900. It doesn't look like it's had the work done. Yeah, I think, Clay, after you've had a few things come back at you because of the lack of being pedantic in certain areas, I think you have to be selectively pedantic. Yeah, when a few things come back and the amount of time and money it wastes on your life, you start to appreciate it. What module to use with your Arduino? Well, I don't have any Arduino. My God, I am gonna beat the living daylights out of Pedro. There's no Arduino. I do have a compass module. I'm not sure exactly which one it is yet. All my stuff is just straight AVR code. There's no Arduino. Damn, the micro tip does actually a fantastically better job than the bigger tips in this job. I might need some heat assist on that corner there though. Selectively deaf. I'm allowed to be selectively deaf. Yeah, I gotta say, doing it using this tip, wow, that's massively easier than the bigger ones. Normally I have to saw away at these pads for quite a while to get them to the point where I'm satisfied, but this, it's just doing the job nicely. And best of all, I'm not accidentally picking up this resistor here, which creates a rather interesting booting effect when you get it wrong. But I am going to need some heat assist. A Chihuahua peed on this? You kidding me? Oh man. Oh, now I've run out of flux. See any trouble with heat assist? Blow away your flux. Keep it back. Okay. Yeah, I suppose if you don't do it too quickly, it'll give it a chance for the heat to get down. So the main thing to do when you do the U8900 is to inspect your work and make sure you don't have any bridges. That's probably the most common way of seeing these 3332 boards die, is people do the U8900 and they leave a bridge on it, and that bridge carries the board over into the afterlife. Yeah, that's good. Oh. Okay, so we can pick up some of that excess flux. This one's definitely going to have to go for a nice, warm, toasty swim in the ultrasonic. If you are getting into MacBook repairs or any PC type repairs and you're wondering what sort of ultrasonic to get, I'd say straight away just go out and get the 22 litre ones. It seems like an overkill, but you'll ultimately need it one way or another. And then the upside is you'll probably be able to do PC motherboards as well. Not sure why there's flux up here. Why is there flux up there? I'll have to have a look at that under the microscope just in case there was something I've missed. Yeah, it might have just been drift from the SMC. Andrew, I have gone through 3 different ultrasonics. I've still got my little 1 litre one, which I use for iPhones occasionally. And then I had a 10 litre one, and then finally the 22 litre. Is it cheap flux light, Jake? I'm not sure it was burned up, so I couldn't tell. It didn't seem that bad. It wasn't crusty. I'd say it was just burned old flux. that had drifted up from the SMC. Okay. Alright, let's stick this thing into a chassis. Jason, did this thing boot at all before, or what's the deal? Because looking at the back side of that keyboard, I can see that liquid's come through there at some point. In case, I will leave you to change the top deck. Hahaha. I'm not doing decks. Okay, put down some paper protection. I do not want to... Oh, so got all this liquid trash here. Not since you got it, okay. So we don't know if we're going to get a good screen here or anything. By the way, the guy, he messed up the heat pipe a bit. Because it jammed in. Didn't take the plastic thingamajig off, or at least didn't move it out of the way appropriately. Anyway, that's irrelevant for the moment. We just want to see if we've got a boot. As Paul laments about installing these damn boards again. Don't forget the one that gets always trapped down the bottom there. So easy to trap that sucker. Then you give it back to the customer and they're like, I don't have a backlight on my keyboard anymore. Ah, damn it, trap the battery every time. And that went under again. Really, how do they assemble these things so quickly in the factory? Doesn't Foxconn reply back to Apple and say, look guys, I know you want to be buttheads to the techs of the world, but this is really making our job a lot harder. Was blocking that. Gotcha. Sitting there just a millimeter or two not quite right. Again, the pedantic thing. Okay, you're in. Okay. Put a screw into... Did you send me the screws? I had a feeling not. Oh, great. It probably doesn't need replacing, but just keep an eye on it. If you find you can't get the temperatures down, then it may have fatigue cracked the edge. These are just some 1466 screws that I'm putting in just to hold it so it doesn't flop out. Obviously never put a long one in that, always keep that as a short screw. Ah, joy. This has been a bit of a long job, this one. Let's get this flux off here. No screws, right, sorry. I don't remember much from emails, sorry. My own wife could email me something important and I'll forget 10 minutes later. That's why I like to keep everything on the job notes, because I know I'm inherently forgetful like that. Got to compensate for your weaknesses. Do not tell me that something's wrong with that. Something's wrong with that display connector. What is it? Yeah. So it's just ever so slightly been nicked up when it was pushed in at some point. So you just have to be careful sliding it in. Make sure we get that shark tooth in first. Otherwise, if that gets caught and is forced up, that's not going to be a very happy thing, especially on these screens. Mind you, at least you can replace that cable in about 15 minutes. Alright, here we go. Let's see if we get it. Damn you, fan. You mock me. Need another screw. There we go. Well, we'll see how that one is. I might tackle that tomorrow. Alright. Let's go for the boom effect. We've got a fan spin. We've got a bong. I'd say that's a moderately reasonable start. I should have plugged in my thingamajiggy-wiggy. Let's see, can I still press the option button? It's probably a bit late for that. You gave up on it? No, there'll be just another machine rotting in this workshop. Better if I send it back to you and you can sell it off or something. I have a feeling I pressed the button too late. Although it is accessing the drive. Doesn't mean it's going to bring up anything. Sometimes, even when you press the button and it starts accessing the drive, it never really comes up with the boot options. It sort of says, well, I looked, but since you didn't press the button early enough, I'm not going to give it to you. Hey Nicholas, 11:25. Holy shoot, 1:26. Oh man, that is way late for me even. Something just popped. I think. I can't smell anything though. Yeah, 1.4 amps seems a little excessive to me too. We should only be using about 900. I don't know whether it was a piece of plastic or not, because I did have my forearm there. Okay. That's weird. Yeah, that was weird. Okay. Lines just flashed on screen. That's not good. And we no longer have attempts in booting there. Okay, let's see if I can watch it directly. Yeah, the 1.3 amps worries me. Oh, we've got a blinking folder. Alright. Okay, let's try with the SSD. The popping noise that I'm thinking we're hearing is from this here. It's shifting around and it got caught on me when I had my forearm against it. Yeah, there's a drive with it. Yeah. I will put come on. Don't be a as I say, I'll put the security screen in front of it. The main reason why I didn't panic too much when I heard that noise was because the fact I knew I was leaning against it. It sounded more like plastic to me, and I couldn't smell anything. And I didn't catch any wisps out of the corner of my eye. You'd be surprised how often you do see the little smoke wisp come up. Yeah, that's... Hey, Tony W, by the way. Ah, sporting the old Holden. Shame, Holden's dead. Okay, this is with the drive boot. We've got an Apple logo. Password maybe 12345. Cool. I would have written in password or maybe 4 or 5 ones or... There's simple passwords, but they can still be difficult to guess. Yeah, looks like we're alive. Trackpad works. That's good. Okay. Shut it down and we'll then put the battery in and see what happens then. Ooh, not responding to the keyboard, are you? Yeah, keyboard's cactus. Oh, this is already logged in. It wasn't a password at all. Unless it was just in its state. You may have to change the keyboard on this one. I'm not doing it. It's not even shutting down properly. Oh, that's because it's like shut down. Honestly, with these, sometimes it's easier just to buy a whole new replacement keyboard deck. Screen light. Is there some special protocol for getting values of the power supply and the meter? Or is it all different, custom scripted? Gabrielle, it depends on the meter. In this case, my power supply is SCPI commands, so it's pretty easy going. But the multimeter is a custom job and not so easy going. the new multimeter I'm getting is also an SCPI one, so that will mean hopefully, a very quick, easy programming. Basically, I will take the power supply software and rename it and just yeah, just use the same setup, just with different commands. This is not going to be a full rebuild or anything. I'm just putting together things that I don't want dangling around, because I'm going to put the bottom on this so that I can flip it upright and test that keyboard. Yeah, damn it, that so frustrating when people do that. Man, I'm long overdue for my ice cream. And I hate these Wi-Fi things. I never remember whether it's the 1398 or the 1502 or both of them that are just notoriously bad for deciding that they're not crimped today and they're just going to fall right on out. It's like, oh, we didn't realize we had to stay connected to that connector. Thought we could just fall out and dangle around in the case and not give you good reception. How bad? Good luck trying to connect us again. That's cute. SMC messed up by client. I just replaced one of those Wi-Fi ants. Ah, joy. I'm sure you enjoyed that tremendously. Okay, I want to plug this back in. Ah, that's what's happening. The reason why this didn't come up is because the keyboard. So yeah, it looks like you got a keyboard to replace, most likely. Password is Macbook, according to that. What's this, Catherine? I wish Lewis could have the info at the bottom of the screen too. Yeah, it's a bit tricky because this actually ties in with my ticketing system and a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, let's do something benign. Okay, there is some activity. Capflox works. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, those keys are dead. Wah wah. Right key does not work. Yeah. That's no fun. What was the middle one on that one? What? The power consumption still worries me on this. Mind you, it's drawing 4 amps almost. But I'd say what's happening right now is it's powering the machine entirely off the power supply and it's not doing anything with the battery. That's why. Anyway. Yeah, so the keyboard needs replacing. But I'll leave that to you, Jason. I've done my duty to this board. At least we know it's running, eh? Shut down. Shut down. Does it smell like Chihuahua? Not particularly at this moment. I'll try not sniff it too closely. Okay, now that I've shut it down, I'm kind of curious to see what the current draw is. It's holding dead steady at 2.7. That's weird. Drop the lid. Because if it keeps drawing this sort of current, yeah, I know it is tomorrow's. That's why I'm like, it's odd. 50 watts into a machine that's basically doing nothing. Did I just hear that noise again? I'll take the drive out. I may have to get the infrared camera out on this. Just plug it in and see what happens when we don't start it or anything like that. I mean, 1 amp straight out of the gate. I suppose it does have a GPU in it, so. And the thing is, we can't actually shut it off because the keyboard's dud. I don't know about the USB connectors. Just open it up. Okay, so it's flashing folder. I honestly would have thought shutting it down like that. Let's try a pre-RAM reset. Although I'm probably not going to be able to because of the keyboard. Give it a go. Might work, might not. Command option PR. No, it's taking too long. Alright. Where's my external keyboard? Crap, someone left the battery installed. No, bonkers. Okay, let's take this out. It's got to come out anyway. Could be the keyboard at fault if it's damaged, but no, we actually saw the higher current, even with the keyboard disconnected. The higher current is present just on the board alone. Yeah, that's annoying. It's actually getting a bit late for me to be toddling around with this. We'll pull the camera out, we'll have a look, but I have a feeling the CPU and the GPU are going to dominate pretty damn quickly, but you never know. Oh yeah, gotta love these repairs for sure. At least with that level of current, it's gonna show up somewhere, that's for sure. At least I hope so. If it's not just something hugging away inside the board, that'll be no fun at all. Okay, let's get the thermal. If I remember to leave this on charge, I wouldn't have to have this second cable every time. Probably does have enough charge in it already. Hey James, Emmy, not much longer. Not Not much longer. Alright, let's get our mag safe and see what jumps up. No, right. No, you. PCH is getting toasty. You're getting a bit toasty. So I'm going to lift this up and get a... Hello, you should not be... You're warm, but it's worth watching that. I wouldn't expect to be getting warm. Everything else looks normal. That's the thing that sticks out at me. What? People yelling at me to use thermal, what are they like? Just behind 20 minutes? Yeah, so that's actually coming through the board. This spot here. All this up here, I'm anticipating. That's just normal. The one that's out of place is the one by the Thunderbolt ports. Let's have another look. Yeah, I don't expect that to normally fire up so quick. I mean, you see it's coming up pretty damn fast. It's a pretty cool effect. We should stick one of the fans on just so you can see the effect of a fan on the system. Come on, get in. There we go. That's good. Oh, I killed the camera. Let's reset that. I don't know what it is about infrared cameras, but we're almost alive. There we go. Let's see what the fan can do for us. So we can turn on the light. Come on, fan, do your job. Cool that pipe down. I suppose it doesn't really have the... Let's give it a helping hand with some Captain tape. You see it's trying to get that heat pipe down. Yeah, that'll do. Yeah, you can see it's doing its job. It's doing its job. Alright, that's enough fun and games. Let's check those ports. We're done with the infrared. Let's have a look at the end. Yeah, we've got some... It's on the outer perimeter there. there is obviously corrosion in the region, but that's not entirely unusual. Okay, let's have a look at the chip itself. Wait, I'm looking at the wrong end, am I? No, there it is. I'm just blind. God help us. I'd probably sooner say there's something in the port itself that's upsetting it. I might just knock those shields off and see if there's anything sneaking in under there. I guess really what we can do is we'll just put it through the ultrasonic and see what comes out. Could be like that one we had the other night. Not the easiest of shields to remove. Let's say we put it through the ultrasonic tomorrow and see how it goes. I'd like to blame like a cap or something, but realistically, if that was at fault, that would be glowing bright. It wouldn't be the chip itself. And check on this side. Okay, we do have corrosion here. You could... Oh... That'll teach me undoing stickers with my favourite spudger. Yeah. Audio chip's a bit beaten up too. Say ultrasonic, see how its behavior changes, if at all. Otherwise, that's going to be a little bit problematic. You can't really send this back. Did it sing the song with people? Oh yeah, look, here we go. You can see the corrosion going on in there. It may not truly be the fault, but there's definitely been... Yeah, it's probably from the dog pee. So yeah, ultrasonic, and see how we go. And we'll leave it at that. We did the really hard bit, which was rebuilding that damn SMC section. Unbelievable. Okay, it could have been worse, but that was still bad enough. It looked a little crusty, yes it did. So with that, I think it's time for me to go to bed. Well, actually, I've got to get a shower, another shower. Usually about 2 or 3 a day. And then, did you want to leave the FLIR plugged in for charging? Probably not tonight, Tony. I think I'll just do that in the morning. But thank you, I appreciate you mentioning it. And... yeah, get some ice cream. Damn, 2 o'clock in the morning, I've gone way too late. Alright, thank you everyone for watching. I'll see you guys next time, probably tomorrow. I've got plenty more machines to do this weekend, so it'll be a bit of a long one. I'll see you next time.